day.
Yay!
I don't think I've ever, this has been the longest it's been since I've released new music that's not Christmas. I feel like somebody said it was like 6 years, and I think that can't be true. But it might be.
We had the Christmas album.
At least 5.5.
I mean, like new, like not
2018, yeah.
Maybe. Okay, it's been a minute. There's a lot in it on the album, but I am so excited. I've already heard. I've been working all day, but I've been hearing from people because this is my office. They're at my desk right now at the Kelly Clarkson Show. What? Having some tea. And I'm actually about to interview somebody I love and adore. So I'm very excited. But right now we are here to talk about my stuff. So anyway, I am very excited. We released Mine and Me. We couldn't decide. And honestly, those weren't even the first ones up to be released as a single. We had like different ideas. And I will say this is the first project I was just like, I'm really cool with any song being released, like whichever one. So I kind of let Atlantic pick. I love my team at Atlantic. You have no idea how much I love them to finish up this record. Shout out Carrie and Craig. It was a very personal record, and it had most of the vocals were like, recorded a while back. So anyway, it was just a very intense record for me to not only make and do, but also just very therapeutic and like also like, will I release this? I don't know. And anyway, I did. So we are doing it. And I now can say that the album is coming out. Okay, I can. I was like, Trisha. 23rd. I was like, look, I'm confused on the date. So I'm like, or when I'm allowed to say certain things, and I'm also not allowed to say this one thing that literally is on the tip of my tongue that I know I'm not allowed to talk about. So I'm not going to talk about it. Anyway, but it's like the one thing because I'm ADHD and I'm thinking about it. Anyway, but June 23rd, the album is coming out. The singles just came out today. I've never released two at once. I did that, actually the label asked me if I was cool with that, and I've always had that idea to release more than one song for albums, because I feel like it's hard to like encapsulate like what exactly a whole album is with one song. You can't do that, right? So anyway, we did Mine and Me, which are very different versions of, or I guess I should rather say stages of grief in that, but the whole album isn't just grief and loss. It's a whole arc of a relationship. So I just hit my hand on my lovely cup. What? Kelly Clarkson Show. And anyway, it said, why did you release two songs on the same day? Everybody has been asking me that. We just kind of everybody had the same idea, and kind of, Atlantic said it and we were like, wow, we were thinking the same thing. So we were stoked about doing that. I love that they're so different. Like, I don't think I've ever recorded anything like Mine in my life. So, and I've never written how I wrote that song. Like it's very different how that came out. And I think the closest song might be Maybe, which is another song I did. Like it was just kind of a stream of consciousness. But Me, I'm super excited about Me, because here's the thing. I've never met Gayle. I'm just a huge fan. And I didn't actually know that we were on the same label whenever I was raving about this girl that had just come out. This was years ago. And I was like, this girl, she came out. I was like, she got this killer song. And I was like, I don't know how nobody has thought of this yet. Anyway, and my label proceeded to tell me like, yeah, we're really into her too, because she's, our artist. And I was like, cool. Anyway, didn't know. Anyway, so they know I'm a fan of hers, and they knew I had written so many songs. I was just working so much, and it was very personal. It was very hard. Like songs that were coming in from other writers weren't necessarily, it wasn't that they weren't great songs, it just wasn't what this called for, this project. If I was gonna do it, I just felt like I really had to do it and do it honestly, and just be a little bit more raw and like very personal. So I was having a hard time with other writers, but then I got this idea via, I can't remember if it was Carrie Craig at Atlantic, one of them actually sent me this idea, and I believe it was Carrie, but anyway, it was a verse and a chorus from Gayle, and it was the idea for me. And I was so thankful. I mean, people are loving the song. I'm very happy for that, obviously. But for me, selfishly, I was having a really hard time. I hadn't written that song for the album yet. I hadn't written anything like that because I wasn't really feeling that at the moment. So it was a really cool thing. I was very thankful for Gayle's existence, just for me personally, just to be able to finish. I literally got the song, the idea, and then I finished it that night. Like I was like, I ended up writing the second verse and bridge that night, like to that. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this song. It's exactly what I needed to kind of round out what had kind of already been going on in the album. So shout out to Gayle. We could not be more different in age, but that just goes to show you how powerful music is, man. It doesn't matter what your age is. We all go through scenarios and situations, and I have no idea, honestly, to this date, like what she wrote that first part about for her. But mine definitely, you know, comes in that second verse and is my story. So it was interesting to collaborate in that sense. I've never done it like that before. Mine, though, I will say mine is exciting for me because it just feels like this. It was hard for me to describe to people what I was going through when I was writing it. And it's so, you know, like the verses sound kind of like this sad, really sad secret, you know, and it's very quiet. And then it explodes into this, not even lead vocal. It's funny because like the BGVs that I recorded, that's like all me on there, but like it's like those gang vocals, that's how I was feeling emotionally. Like, and I needed it. I was like, I want to do a ton of voices. I want to sound like I haven't really sounded before. And my nod to Green Day, I'm a huge Green Day fan. So, and it feels like just kind of that big, huge chorus with that straight tone singing, and it's what I needed, like to get that out. So, I don't know. And then I've never written a song like this. I wrote that song and then left it, didn't have a bridge yet because I just wasn't feeling it, and I was like, I gotta go, and I need to get out of these emotions, out of my house. Poor Jesse Shatkin at my house. We're doing like 25 songs in 2 days anyway. But I ended up writing the bridge later, and I thought he was gonna think I was nuts because I wanted to change the tempo. I was like, I know this sounds crazy, but I really feel like the tempo should pick up here because emotionally that's where I'm at, and I just got frustrated. I was frustrated. I was very angry, and like I said, I wrote most of these songs like 2.5 to 3 years ago. So while it is me, it's just I'm in a very different place now. So it's really love being on the other side. Can't express that enough. You know, when people are like, there's the end of the tunnel, you just can't see it. I'm like, you're lying. It's not there. It's all just, everything's gonna die. Like, it's just, everything's bad. And you just don't see it, do you? But it happened.
What was the time difference between the two songs?
So I changed the time in the song, like it changes tempo.
Oh, right.
Because I wanted it to rush a little bit more, and I wanted it to feel a little bit more like just frustrated. It wasn't even angry, just frustrated is what I was feeling. So, yeah. But it's kind of like that thing where, you know, it doesn't even matter what side of the relationship you're on too. I think anybody that's been in any relationship, maybe you've felt that before, like where you feel like you were connecting and you didn't, and it just was. It just feels like the rug was kind of, stolen from beneath you. So yeah, that was a very, very sad time. Really glad once again I'm not there. So.
Same. And between Mine and Me, how long was that between writing both those songs?
Maybe just like a couple months. I mean, I literally have had these songs for years. So like, maybe just months in between that. And I think it was really clever of Carrie, who I work with at Atlantic, because I was having a hard time connecting to, even though I love the songs that were being sent in, it just wasn't where I was and for this chapter of my life. And it was very hard. It's like, how can someone possibly know what I'm feeling, right? So that's how I felt. But anyway, turns out Gayle did. And also Rachel. Actually, that's one song I wrote with, and then all the other ones except for there's two on there that are by other writers that I just connected with, and I felt like were very much a part of this story. So yeah.
Are you performing Mine maybe live at some point?
Am I performing live? Maybe the first live performance of Mine. It's happening this Tuesday, April 14th.
Woohoo!
On my show, and it was so interesting because if you listen to the song. You know, there's a lot you can do in a studio. It's a very dramatic vocal. Like, it's very intense. Like, Bob, who does my in-ears, was like, oh my God. I was like, because I'm very quiet. I was like, oh, Bob, you got to turn up. Can't hear me in the verse. And then I just wail in the chorus. And then, you know, I'm very frustrated in the the bridge, and then it comes right back down. So poor Bob was just riding that vocal the entire time in my in-ears, so I had to actually pop one out so I could hear the room. But anyway, it's a very intense song, and that'll be the first performance is on the Kelly Clarkson Show. What?
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
have some tea with that thought.
So Kelly, a lot of your fans talk about how many of your songs and their lyrics help them get through tough times. So when you were writing these new songs, which lyrics do you feel really helped you the most when you were writing them in a cathartic way?
You know, interesting question. So really all of them in a different way. Like even like there's it's funny because it's gonna sound weird, but even there's a song called Favorite Kind of High, which is like more of an upbeat like anthem and like more of like that intoxicating part of a relationship, right? So even with that song, it was good for me, and I said this from the very beginning with Label, it was very good for me to be able to experience the whole relationship on this album, because to diminish something to just bad would be a disservice. So it's not all bad, right? It's not even that anyone's bad. It just doesn't work sometimes and things don't align or whatnot. So, or I don't know what your deal is. Maybe it didn't go well in a different way. But anyway, mine particularly was important for me to have songs like that to remember that it wasn't all. It was very helpful to pull myself out of the gutter that I was living in, because you know your whole world changes and you're like, I didn't see that coming. And anyway, so it's very important to remember the good as well and not just sit in the crappy, you know. So it's all there. So all of them are important and all of them have that. But I love those records, and honestly, that's why I released this record. I was very worried about it because I didn't know if I'd want to talk about it all the time because I don't enjoy that. But I think that it's very important to still be the same artist I've been my whole career, which is very open and honest. And also, look, several songs didn't make the cut because they were maybe too honest. So, so I filtered myself and I put out the songs, these 14 songs I feel like are relatable for anyone. Like it's not so pointed just at like me and what I'm going through. I like all your hearts. Somebody just give me a bunch of hearts. Thank you. Yeah.
Which song on the album do you feel like is most personal that you were kind of on the fence about?
I think that's two different answers for me. So I was on the fence about Red Flag Collector for many reasons. But I had so many people, you know, talk about how we make these jokes like, oh, just collecting red flags, we'd just make these jokes, and I thought it's kind of relatable, so I kept it anyway. But the most personal for me, which I think a lot of people experience in a relationship, is you're on the fence of what to do, right? You don't know, like, should I keep doing this? Should I keep going? Or should you save yourself? You just don't know. And that's Chemistry. That's the song Chemistry for me. So, and I've never recorded anything like that song either. It's very different. Kind of a nod to Buckley. I'm a fan of Jeff Buckley, so it's kind of a little bit of a nod to that. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so reaction to me. What is the reaction?
Saying like, what are fans saying?
Oh, I look like an old person. I just leaned in. I
see. Are there any country songs on the album I can see? What are some of the genres that you've got on the album?
We reference country, but it's not. This is not like one day I will make a full on exactly how I want it to sound country album, because I love country music, and it'll be exactly like what I want it. This is not that. If you're looking for that album, that's not this album. This album is very much, it's very much pop, but it's got some singer-songwriter stuff on there. It's got some punk rock. It's got some soulfulness on there. It's kind of a marriage, I feel like, of like Breakaway Stronger and Meaning of Life. Like there's just elements of all of that in there. But yeah, this is not a country record. I mean, if you heard the two singles and thought that this might be a country record, you maybe don't know country music. It's like, this is not, because I love all kinds of music. And sometimes, a lot of times when I write, which actually I did write some country during this, that might come out one day. But as a whole, it came out like therapeutically more pop rock, kind of soulful.
Fans are already comparing it to My December. Do you feel like you bring those kind of just memories and inspirations through?
Oh, so My December, you know what? It's different sonically from My December, but it's very similar in the sense that it's just very raw and very me. Yes, I would say that is a similarity. But I will say the giant difference between that record and this record is I had never been in love. Like, I'd never thought, oh, I'm going to end up on a porch with this dude. Like, and we're going to rock away the life together. And I didn't ever know that. And I think that there's a big difference in the person that recorded My December and the person that recorded this record. There's just, you know, I'm 40, so hopefully I've lived a little to you know a little bit more. And just experiences, right? I think that changes us as well.
When it comes to me, and you basically took us to church.
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration for making that so big and anthemic?
It just kind of came out, especially like I said earlier, like when Gayle, like with what she had written, I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know what she's talking about, but like what her thing is and why she went here. But like for me, I obviously personalized it for me, and it ended up being, I love I love a big, bold, soulful ballad anthem. Like, right, I'm into that. So that worked, but also it's just how it came out. It's just how, I know this sounds weird, but certain like emotions and certain like feelings come out better with different genres of music for me. And that sounds like I have different people in here. I don't. That's just me. But it came out more soulful because of how I needed it, especially like certain things that I'd been wanting to say in songs and get out and write and hadn't been able to. Like honestly, like one of my favorite lines on the whole record is "too weak to stand next to me." And that's not, I know it sounds like a big dig, and it is a bit of a dig, but it's more or less the line of like, we're not at the same place right now, and that's okay, but like I need this, and I need to find this is what I need, you know. So it was kind of cool. Everybody's doing, what are we doing? Are we late? Oh, okay. I was like, I have to tape a show after this. I was like, are we going? Everybody was looking. Anyway, so it's more, I know it can seem like a lot like digs on certain things, but it was more of like, that is the word, that is what I meant. Like, you know, like in a sense of like, we're just, you know, sometimes at different places and it doesn't match up, and relationships can be hard, but they can be too hard, you know? So anyway.
Well, we got a lot of amazing comments here, Kelly. Some of your fans are reaching out.
First of all, if you're saying I relate, I'm sorry. Like, there is nothing worse than somebody coming up to me and saying, gotta relate to this song. And it's usually the saddest song in my catalog. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. But I also get the connection. So I'm grateful for that. That's the whole point. But what collabs are on it? I just saw that question. So I don't know how this happened. But I got Sheila E. and Steve Martin to agree to be on my album. What? That's right. I was so excited. There's a reason, a big reason why I asked him on I Hate Love to be a part of it. But anyway, he's an amazing musician. I love him. Obviously, he's Steve Martin. We all do as an actor. But there was something in particular that kind of stood out for me, and I mentioned in a song. Anyway, he was part of it. It was very cool. And I love Sheila E. She's played with us on the show. I played with her on award shows. I just love her. Not only as a talented musician, she's just legit a genuinely kind, great human. And that is who I want to work with and I want to celebrate music with. So she's on That's Right, which is so sassy. Anyway.
What are more fans saying?
Oh, they're saying, okay, sorry. Wait, let me see before me. I can't answer that question.
Yeah.
Someone almost got me in trouble. I almost said something I shouldn't.
Yeah, we need to cut this off. We're getting too much.
I know. I was like, I'm so sorry. So I'm just trying to filter myself a little bit because we do have a surprise coming soon. Will the new album be out on vinyl? You bet your ass. I love vinyl. That's how I love listening to music, y'all. It's so good. Different colors too. I know I picked I picked so many different covers for it, different colors for the vinyl. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. Oh my gosh! And Brian Bone Smith, just shout out. He is like incredible. We did this incredible photo shoot for that. Look at this. What? Look at that. It's not photoshopped. Like everybody, that was the thing. I was like, you just did that, and it's not. It was because I kept telling him like the album is called Chemistry. There's a lot of different feelings kind of jumping out of me. It's like all these different things, and he had this whole idea because he's brilliant, and I love him. And even on the back, I love that. I love it.
It's beautiful.
I love it. He did such a great job. So yes, there will be vinyl. And let me see. Oh, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yes, I got that line because of that movie. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't exist. I asked. It's like, it just, you can't get that erased. So, but you don't want to because you want to remember the good times too. But anyway, I learned that in therapy.
But how do you feel? Today is release day.
I feel so good. I love you.
Yeah.
I love Andy so much. I feel really good. I literally was texting Trisha last night. I was like, I'm so excited the songs are out, like 2 of the songs are out, but I'm really excited. I know she knows what I'm about to say. I was like, I wish it were the album because I just really want the whole thing to be heard, not just 1 or 2 songs, because it's so important, because it's not, like I said, I just don't want it to be down to one feeling, because that's just such a disservice to a whole, relationship. So anyway,
well,
I'm very excited. It's June.
It does come out.
June 23rd. It's coming out, and I can say it now without getting in trouble. So I do have on Monday, I have a special announcement that I almost ruined here. Didn't do it though. I'm such a professional. But Monday, we have something so exciting that literally I've wanted to do from the beginning of the process of this album. I've wanted to do. So I'm very excited about it. Anyway, and April's such a fun month because it's my birthday this month. What? Anyway, and my son just turned 7 because he's awesome.
Happy birthday, Remy.
Happy birthday, Remy. Shout out. Okay, I got to go shoot another show. I am very excited about my interview that I'm about to do. So anyway, bye. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you like the songs. If you don't, I'm like, sorry, they're already done. So that's it. Like, it's like, I'm sorry. But on Monday, but thank you for supporting them. Thank you for getting the music. Thank you for supporting. It really does mean a lot. More so that y'all connect to it, right? So that's the whole point of what art is. So anyway, I hope y'all are having an awesome day. Check back in with us Monday because we got a really fun announcement. Anyway. Oh, hey.
Sorry.
Andy.
And they walk by.
You sexy Australian beast.
Oh, g'day. Bye.